Natalie here once again, and today I have my friend Tonya.
Hey guys, my name is Tonya, or you can find me on YouTube at Miss Black Korean Lady.
So I have her with us today because today we're going to talk about things you should know before traveling to Korea. So I've lived in Korea for going on 5 years now.
And I've been here for almost 6 years, you guys.
So both of us have some pretty good experience in Korea. So we have a good handle on what you should know before coming to Korea. So if you want to know these tips, then stay tuned.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the bad air quality here in Korea. It is so bad, and it's just really dangerous for you and unhealthy for you.
The air quality used to not be this bad year-round. It used to just be pockets throughout the year, but now you can expect bad quality air within almost every season. So it gets to the point where your lungs are literally on fire. I think the other day actually that we experienced a really high level of fine dust, and I had heard that it was equivalent to smoking 7 cigarettes.
Are you serious?
That day. I'm dead serious. Yes. So it can get really bad.
Right.
So my advice to you is to really be prepared for that. Okay? That means to have a mask, and not just any mask.
Yeah.
You need to have the mask that is identified as K94 or above.
Exactly. So a lot of the times you will see Koreans walking around with masks that are like cute, have little animal faces on it or something. Those will not cut it, okay? You need to get the one that has at least K94 or higher.
Yeah, so that is going to help to filter the majority of that dust. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to help and prevent all of that soot and all that gunk from being coming into your lungs, okay? So the next thing that you should know is that Korea is a pretty conservative country. So I'm actually really speaking to the women in regards to your attire for Korea. Shoulders, bare shoulders and cleavage is not really acceptable. It's kind of looked down upon. So if you can just keep your chest area covered, you'd pretty much be safe.
Right. Now the trend is changing a little bit, so like now you do kind of see the younger generation showing their shoulders off a little bit more, or maybe even wearing crop tops, but cleavage is still a big no-no. So even if you have just a little bit of, like an inch of cleavage, it's too much.
Yes.
Don't do it.
Yes, you will definitely have men gawking at you. Okay?
Right.
Now, if you want your booty out,
girl,
do that. Okay? Because even though this area cannot be shown, the booty can be all out. You like mini skirts, mini shorts, any of that stuff, you are good.
I can't count how many booty cheeks I've seen since living in Korea, okay? Just little cups. Who wears short shorts? Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is food. Now, me and Natalie, we love us some food, and Korean food is the bomb.com, okay? But if you are a vegan or a vegetarian, it could be a little bit difficult for you while living here in Korea.
A lot of the food is pork and fish based. So even if you ask the restaurant chef or the waiter to add no meat, you can actually have a meat based dish. So you need to be very wary, and I would highly suggest that you do your research on Korean food so you have an idea of what foods can work for your diet, just in case you are having one of those specialty diets where you cannot eat any of those things. So one thing that you'll definitely realize about Korea is that Korea has amazing public transportation. It's so easy to get almost anywhere in Korea, and it's really pretty reasonably priced, even the taxis. But there are some warnings that you need to heed about the taxis.
Right. So the first thing is, when you arrive here at the airport, do not take a taxi to your final destination, because they will overcharge you.
Yeah, I just heard a story actually of a foreigner who was picked up by a taxi at the airport, dropped off in Seoul, and was overcharged $500 for their fare.
Girl.
So the taxis will definitely take advantage of your naiveness. So I would highly suggest not taking a taxi from the airport, but if you have to, do what you gotta do. What I would suggest though is getting an airport bus. Now, airport buses, they drop off nearly everywhere, not only in Seoul, but in Korea.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think there's an airport bus stop near my place. There's an airport bus stop near your place. There's an airport bus stop right in front of the school that I work. They are literally everywhere. Right. But the only thing that you have to make sure is that you know the location where you're staying and figure out the closest bus stop, the closest airport bus stop to your accommodation before you come here. Exactly. That will make your life so much easier.
Right. And airport buses are so cheap, and not only that, they're really comfortable.
Super. It's like a luxury trip. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really nice. So we have mentioned that taxis are fairly reasonably priced, but if you try to take a taxi at like 1 o'clock in the morning after having some drinks with some friends or something, it is almost impossible to get you a taxi.
So taxis are trying to make the most of their time around that time of the night. So they're not going to take you if you're right around the corner, or they're going to make what, like $10 or below. Right. They're going to only take you if you're all the way across town, or if they have a predetermined amount, they'll tell you like, oh, it's going to be $20.
Even though normally it would be like 10.
Yeah, so they're going to superly overcharge you if you want to take a taxi at night. So just be wary of that.
Now, over the years, we have gone out and needed to take a taxi. So we've kind of figured out that if you do need a taxi at like after 1 a.m., you need to kind of walk away from the clubs, walk away from the bars. So maybe walk down the street a block or two, and then maybe one of those taxis will actually pick you up.
Yes, we've had better luck doing that, and we get a taxi nearly every time. We may have to wait a little bit longer because taxis don't come by as regularly as on the main streets, but we still always get home.
Exactly.
May take a little bit longer, but we get home for a reasonable price.
And also, if you do get a taxi a little bit away from the clubs, you still need to get in the taxi and say meter, like use the meter, because they could try you and try to still charge you a base amount or something instead of using the meter.
So one thing I would highly suggest that you learn before coming to Korea is HANGUL. HANGUL is going to help you out so much because so many Korean signs or signs that you'll see out on the street are actually in Konglish.
Right. So Konglish is basically where the English word is written using Hangul. So if you read it in the Korean language, it'll sound like an English word. So then you'll know what it is.
Yeah, the first sign or the first word that I recognized in Korean was actually chicken. And so if you can understand at least reading, even if it's slow and minimal, it will help you out so much. Yes. So I would highly suggest at least learning the basics, learning the alphabet. That will get you by so far in Korea.
Another reason why Hangul is important while you're living here is because Google Maps do not work really well here. So instead of using Google Maps as a navigation system, you should use something called Kakao Maps.
Yes, Kakao Maps is a really great app to utilize. Now, they have a lot of the portion of the Kakao Maps in English, but there are still some things that are in Korean, like street names and stops, which is why it would be beneficial for you to at least be able to read Korean to have an idea of where you need to go. Another app I would highly suggest that you download before coming here is the Korea Subway app, and this app is completely in English, and it is amazing.
It is so useful. So on this app, it has almost everything you need. So not only does it have the entire timeline of when each train goes to a specific stop, it'll also show you the exact routes. Like if you're trying to get from this station to another station, it'll show you the exact route and where you need to transfer and everything like that. It makes it so simple.
Yes, and this app is so specific to the point where it will tell you what door to be at, to stand at, for the easiest transfer possible. So I would highly suggest downloading these two apps before you even come to Korea. Korea is beautiful. However, you will experience extreme temperatures in both the summer and the winter. The summer is extremely hot, humid, sticky, nasty. Okay, and I am a Floridian, okay? So I know what heat and humidity is, all right? Korean heat and humidity is on a completely different level, okay? Completely different level.
It's crazy. Like, you can be fresh out the shower, nice and clean, smelling fresh, okay? As soon as you walk outside, drenched. It's like almost pointless to even try to look cute in the summertime, okay? Because it's just, you just sweat so much.
Yes, and on the contrary, the winter is just so brutal. Now, again, I'm a Floridian. Right. You've experienced winter before, but as a Floridian, it's cold.
Right.
I mean, it's cold. It's just cold, but it's not just cold. It's because we have to actually experience.
Yeah, we can't. We're not going from car to a nice warm building. You know, here we have to walk in the cold, walk from the subway to the bus to our school, whatever the case, and it's just like, it's dumb cold. Okay, it's just dumb cold.
So please pack accordingly, depending on the seasons that you're coming. So summer and winter are like extremes, but if you come during the spring or the fall,
it's
beautiful. Even though it may be like 1 or 2 weeks long,
right?
You know. It's a beautiful time to come.
So the next thing you should be aware of before you come to Korea are that there are designated seats on public transportation for people who are older, who are maybe injured, pregnant people. The list goes on, okay? So there are designated seats on the subway as well as the bus.
Now, you'll see the pregnancy seat. It's like a big pink sign, or there'll be a big pink sign on the floor. In Korea, it's kind of like flexible. People sometimes sit there. However, there are pregnant people that actually have a button or a badge that hang off of their bags that indicate that they are pregnant, whether they're showing or not.
Right.
And if you do see that, then that means you have to give up your seat. As you know, it's just respectful.
Courtesy,
I mean, hopefully you do that anyway.
Right.
You know.
Even if she didn't have a badge, if she's 6 months pregnant, come on
better
now.
be sitting there.
Come on now.
So the last thing that we want to mention is the lack of spatial awareness here.
Oh my gosh.
So I bring this up because for many people, it's going to be kind of shocking to get bumped into a lot and realize that nobody is really paying attention to their surroundings. They are like literally breathing down your neck, standing in line, or not even just standing in line, just standing like you
just waiting for the subway.
Yeah, just like no space. And the culture is not seen as rude. It's just
they just don't see. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
It's just a social norm here. That's just something that that happens in Korea.
So I did actually mention this in one of my videos, and I got a lot of comments where they were mentioning like, well, Korea is so small, so there's not really enough space for people to maneuver around each other. So of course you're gonna get bumped into each other. First off, these people don't just like, oops, okay, no. So they use like force sometimes to try to get by you, and they don't apologize or anything. But also, you can be the only person waiting for the subway, and instead of them standing, you know, a comfortable distance away from you, they will stand like right up next to you. So I get what people are saying about Korea being small and everything, but that's not all we're referring to.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I've learned being in Korea. You have to be ferocious if you're trying to get places. Like, I remember I was on this subway just the other day. I was on the subway, and you know, people are usually on the outside of the subway waiting for the people on the subway to get off. But no, nobody was waiting for anybody to get off. They were all filing in, and the doors were like ding, 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 like mentioning that it's closed. And I was like, you know what? I gotta go through, and I'm boom, boom, boom. You know, like you have to just move. You just gotta move. And yeah, you know, I think it's just like a go-getter society. Like you need to get places.
Right.
And like, I know it can be shocking. I want to say especially for Americans, just because as Americans, we are so apologetic, and we don't even realize how apologetic we are. We apologize for everything.
Exactly.
And so it's offensive to us when somebody bumps into us and with somebody, they don't apologize for it. And I know, at least when my grandmother came, that was her #1 pet peeve about this country.
Even just saying excuse me is something that just doesn't happen here. And like, I think people get like annoyed by that as well. But like, if someone like brushes up against you or like pushes you a little bit, that's just kind of a sign to like move out their way.
Anyways, I hope that the information that we provided to you guys was helpful. Please go ahead and follow Tonya on her channel. You can follow her beautiful life, her beautiful tall life as a Black Korean lady.
Yes.
In Korea and beyond.
Thank you. Yes, please check me out on my channel.
And if you have any questions that I didn't answer in this video or any other videos that I've put out, you can always do a one-on-one consultation with me. Remember, I'm offering those on my website, so you can go ahead and book with me and you can have a one-on-one with me or video chat, and we can talk about whatever your heart desires. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed.
Bye.
Bye.